Hi team, so for this video I'm going to share to you on how to integrate the sync between Dynamics 365 Sales and Business Central. First step is for you to navigate to your Business Central application, go to settings from the menu bar, then click on Assisted Setup. From here, you scroll down to the Connect with other systems. On your end, you might see that this is unchecked. For me, it's check red because it was previously set up. So the check mark didn't go away after I uninstalled the solutions for the sake of this demo. So the first step that you need to do is to set up a connection to Dataverse. And then the second step is for us to set up integration to Dynamics 365 Sales. Do not confuse yourself with the sorting of this setup. If you go here, you will not go wrong on setting up this connection and integration. If you go to the setup integration without setting up the connection to the Dataverse, you will receive a notification from here that you will need to set up the connection to Dataverse first before setting up the integration. So let's set up a connection to Dataverse first. Click on this link. For the sake of the demo, I'm going to run again. Here you have two options. First is enable data synchronization. This is what we want to do. We're going to enable Business Central to synchronize data with Dataverse. So keep this enabled. And then second option is enable virtual tables and events. This is optional. So basically, this will include the syncing of the virtual tables and events between the two. For the sake of the demo, we don't need this, so I turned it off to save some time with the setup. Now click next. Next step is the terms and conditions. Click I accept and then click next. Alright, so on this part, you will need to set up the connection. This URL that you're seeing here is the URL of the Dynamics 365 Sales URL. If you have multiple environments installed, then if you click this ellipsis, you will see multiple environments, and then you will be able to select which one is to be connected to this Business Central. Okay, so on my end, I only have one, so I only see this. And then sign in with administrator user. Upon clicking, this will prompt you the login for your Dynamics. Just log in and then wait for this to complete as it logs in. There should be no issues logging in because you're already logged in here in the Business Central anyways. Now click next. Alright, so this part, what it does is it's installing the solution to the Dynamics 365 Sales for the connection between the Dataverse and the Business Central. Once this is done, I'll show you from the solution side. So for now, we're going to wait for this one. This will take a minute or two to set up as the installation of the solutions takes time. Okay, so the setup of the solution is done. Let's quickly go back to Dynamics 365 Sales and see what was changed. Manage. Okay, this is the solution that was installed from the setup earlier. Okay, now going back to the setup, it will now ask us the ownership model. This has two options, person or team. It's recommended for the project to define this beforehand, given that this will affect greatly on how the records will be managed. If the plan is for the records to be user-owned, then person will be best suited for the setup. And if there will be shared access between the records that were going to be synced, then the team will be the best way to go. And also, it is recommended to use team, as mentioned here as well. For this demo, we're going to choose team. A business unit and a team will be created in Dataverse. Just a note there that all this setup can be reconfigured if in case, for example, at some point the ownership model will be changed from team to person or person to team. That is possible to be updated. However, it might give issues like data inconsistency in the records. You might need to check the previous records that was already synced, and you might need to do some manual updates on the owners and all that. Okay, that's good. Moving on, the next setup here is to complete setup without synchronization. I'm going to leave this off for now because we're going to synchronize the data in the later part of the setup anyway. Click next. Alright, so this one will take a minute or two as well. So basically this one is, as mentioned on the note there, that it will now create some business units and teams that will be used on the integration. So let's just wait for this to complete. So the setup has been completed, and then this step here, it says show synchronization recommendation, but basically this will show you the base tables that were going to be synced for the initial synchronization. You can skip setting that up because we're going to set up the other tables on the setup integration to Dynamics anyways. And we're going to be seeing more tables compared to this one here. Alright, from here, we click finish. So from here, the sync will start running already. We don't need to wait for this to complete. We can click back and you will be able to confirm that the setup of the connection is completed once you see the check mark. So basically that indicates that you have completed the setup for the connection to Dataverse. Alright, so next step is to set up integration to Dynamics 365 Sales. For initial setup, this will be unchecked for you. It's checked for me because I already completed it before. Let's click on Setup Integration to Dynamics 365 Sales. So if you ever set up this before, you will get same notification like this. For the demo, we're going to run it again. So on this step, it will show you the sales URL that is connected to the Business Central. This is the organization that we have chosen while setting up the connection to Dataverse earlier. Click Next. Next to enable the connection. Here, it will ask us if we wanted to set up the field service integration. For this demo, we're not going to set this up. Let's click Finish. Okay, so this part here will take some time. So basically, this is running in the background and setting up the integration between the Business Central and the sales application and updating the solutions on the sales environment. So we just wait until this completes. So the setup is complete. Now we need to set up this settings for this the whole sales integration setup. First thing is here. So basically this is the URL that we have set up with our Business Central application. Here, active schedule and synchronization 8 of 17. This will be more once we sync more tables. Then enabled, the one that will trigger the integration between the two. We'll skip this part since we don't need the sales order setup at the moment. So, advanced settings, open coupled entities in Dynamics 365 Sales Hub. On our case, we don't need it at the moment. Lastly, automatically synchronize item availability. Specifies that item availability job queue entry. So this we're going to enable. Alright, so we're done updating the settings. Let's try test connection just to confirm that the connection is valid and working. Alright, so the connection test was successful. All the settings are valid. Let's click OK. The next step is to go to the synchronization tab. But before we go there, let's quickly view the mapping tab here. So if you have set up person on the ownership model, the first thing you need to do from this part is to couple salespeople. So basically, you're going to connect which user is connected from sales application and the business application. User A and sales application will be user C on Business Central. Then you will be coupling them. Basically, you're matching the records here. So just to show you how it looks like, it's like this. This is how the coupling looks like here. But for now, we're not going to touch this since we chose Teams. So let's go to synchronization tab. So the next step that we're going to do is to run full synchronization. As you can see here, compared to the available tables earlier, we have more tables to be synced. For the errors that you're seeing here, we can ignore it for now. And as you can see also, the job queues earlier that was initially synced has been finished already. So going to the recommendation column, we can see here different recommendations. So full synchronization, the review selected coupling criteria. So basically, it's recommending for you to review the fields that are getting synced for these tables. For us, we just need to select the coupling criteria for the tables that we wanted to sync. Select coupling criteria, and then here you will see the field name, integration field name. Field name here is showing you the Business Central fields, and integration field name is showing you the sales application fields. This column here is match on this field. When you enable this one, you're confirming that this field is going to be synced to this field here. The other column here is case sensitive matching. So if there are fields that you wanted to make sure that it's case sensitive, you can enable this as well. For this demo, we're just going to match on this field. Alright, so once done checking, we go here, synchronize up after coupling. That's what we wanted to happen, for it to synchronize after we set up the whole coupling of the tables. Next option is resolve update conflicts. This will define which is the source of truth between the Business Central application and the sales application. Like for example, we have conflicting changes between the two applications. If you choose send data update to the integration table, you're basically saying that our source of truth here is the Business Central application. The other option is it will use the sales application as the source of truth. So here we're going to use the Business Central as the source of truth. Next setting here is create new if unable to find match. So basically, if the matching of records didn't find a match, then create a new record. So from here, we just select OK. I'm just going to do same thing for all the other tables here. After setting up the coupling criteria, the next step is to click sync all. So basically, this will sync all the records between the Business Central and the sales application. Click yes. Alright, so the coupling has been scheduled. This will run in the background. So from here, the integration setup between Dynamics 365 Sales and Business Central is complete. That concludes our video. Hopefully, this helps you guys to get an overview on how to set up the integration between the Dynamics 365 CE and Dynamics 365 Business Central. Thank you.